Good morning, everybody. May the 4th be with you. I'm Walter, your independent travel advisor. And for about the next hour or so, we're going to be talking about all things cruising. But we can't overlook the elephant in the room. It is Star Wars Day. It is May the 4th. Can you believe this? Which means we have to start this off correctly. Yes, it's a giant Pez dispenser. I've had this thing forever. Now, Star Wars Day, Star Wars Day. How about anybody else have a lunchbox? Yeah, no, it's not the original one. I wish I still had the one, from the 1970s when I first saw the movie, but it's a replica. So let's see. Let's see what we've got. Let's see. Oh, we've got Chewbacca. Chewbacca's in there. I've got Princess Leia. We've got Princess Leia. Look at her. She looks great with the hair dryer. How about C-3PO? We've got C-3PO hanging out right there. Let's see. Who else have we got? Oh, Yoda. Yeah, Yoda. He's very small, though. Yoda, very, very small. I don't know how well you can see him because you're going out of focus a little there. I'll hold him over here. Yoda. We got Yoda. Of course, we've got Darth Vader. Right? We got Darth Vader, squared going on right now. Look at that. Look at that. Yes. And then, last but not least, Luke Skywalker. Got to have Luke Skywalker in the set because, it's just not the whole set without Luke Skywalker. Oh, my gosh. Oh, Luke. I am your father. Yeah.
Oh, man, you should have warned people about spoiler alerts.
Huh?
You should have warned people about spoiler alerts.
Yeah, spoiler alerts. The only one I don't have is Dark Helmet. Dark Helmet! Like, best movie ever. Love that one.
Oh.
So, and what else have I got in here? I've got another space dude. And a, Zurg. Oh, wait a minute. Zurg. Oh, we have Zurg. What? Spoiler! All right. I'm so excited for Star Wars Day. I love Star Wars Day. I hope you like that thumbnail on the YouTube side. I thought that was a heck of a lot of fun. So, yay! Star Wars Day. Happy Star Wars Day. My first question is, how many of you are of a certain age that you actually saw the movie in the theater as a kid? That I did. Roosevelt Theater in Hyde Park, New York, where I saw it. What was it? What was the year? 77? 76? Something like that. Oh my, I still remember when that big Star Destroyer went over and the whole theater shook. And that was like the first time, all y'all who go to movies now, you're like, oh yeah, it's normal when the theaters shake. But back then we didn't have theaters that shook when stuff went over. So yeah, that is I am of that certain age. I'm curious how many of you are of that certain age that you saw Star Wars in the theater when it first came out. Let's see. Puff Wheat Boy, you watched it in Dubuque, Iowa. Wow. With Sylvester Stallone while he was in the filming area. How cool is that? I love it. Hey, Bill, how are you? Hey, Cheryl. Let's see. Everybody's over here. Hey, SL, how you doing? Hey, Mimi, how you doing? Annette, Michael, Sue, Kurt, Benny's here. Bill's Van. Belle, how are you? Good to see you. Betty, good to see you. A family friend brought me to the theater to watch The Empire Strikes Back when it came out. They were nice enough to buy your popcorn, which you finished before the movie started. How many of us did that? And then you had to run back to the freaking concession stand, right? And you had to get more popcorn. So, folks, if you're new to the channel, I'm Walter, your independent travel agent. We book all things cruising, land, luxury, expedition. Our services are 100% free to you. I invite you to subscribe, share, like, do all those wonderful things that social media likes for you to do. And if you've got questions about all things cruising, feel free to ask, or if you want to talk a little bit about Star Wars, throw that in there as well. It is May the 4th. Very, very exciting. Rebecca, what about you? You saw it in the theaters, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
My father took my sister and I to go see it. My mother refused to go. So we all saw it in the theater. My family was too cheap to ever buy popcorn or soda at the theater. So
she didn't get popcorn.
No popcorn.
Oh, that is so sad. How can you watch a movie like that without popcorn?
But we were late coming to the theater, so we ended up pretty close to the front of the theater, which turned out to be kind of cool because it really did look like the ships were going over your head.
Yeah, that would have been super cool. That would have been super cool. So, good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Layla. How are you? Good to see you. Good morning, Donna. Let's see. Corey saw it in the theaters. Kurt saw the original 3 in the theater, and then the re-release in Boston. Yeah, I know I saw the first one at the Roosevelt Theater. I'll never forget that. My sister took me and my friend Charlie. See, what grade would we have been in back then? Like 6th grade, 7th grade, something like that.
No, let's see.
I don't know, but my sister took me, and she was the adult of the family, so she took us. My sister came.
Well, did it come out in the summer?
It definitely came out.
Yeah, so then it would have been between 6th and 7th grade.
There you go. So, so we're talking a little Star Wars, and we're talking a little cruising. Which, by the way, you can combine the two. No, wait, no, I'm sorry. Now I'm mixing the stream. See, I'm thinking Star Trek. There is a Star Trek cruise. Is there a Star Wars cruise? I actually don't know. I know about the Star Trek cruise. That's been going on for a very long time. I don't know if there's a Star Wars cruise. That'll be interesting. There should be, if there isn't. Yeah, you would think that there would be. So, good morning, Dennis. Donna, you're in the Hudson Valley? No way. Yeah, I saw the movie. In fact, I saw a lot of movies at the Roosevelt. I was a projectionist at the, what was it, Poughkeepsie Mall, I think it was called. Was it called the Poughkeepsie Mall? But it was a Hoyt's Theater back in the day. There is
a Star Wars Day at Sea on Disney.
That's true. There's a Star Wars Day at Sea, but they need to do a Star Wars cruise. That's what they should do. Yeah. Hasman went on a double date to see Star Wars. Got there late and sat in the front row, from the far left. Telling you, sitting up close on a Star Wars film is not a bad thing because, like Rebecca said, all the ships are like going right over your head and all that stuff, especially back then. So, Peggy's saying that doesn't Disney have a Star Wars Day? South Hills Mall. Thank you, Donna. That's where I worked. I worked there for like 2 years. I was a projectionist for 2 years, and I don't remember the exact year. Well, it would have been around 84, 85 because The Little Mermaid came out. Batman came out. UHF came out with Weird Al. Oh, yeah. Good morning. Hi, Spunky. Where are we streaming from? So we're still in Orlando. We're at home, but there's some storms kind of brewing outside. In fact, we had a massive thing of lightning and thunder a little while ago. So we're like, we're going to be inside. So we're inside today. So Kathy didn't know about the Star Trek cruise. Yeah, that is a big one. That one tends to sell out very, very quickly. I have a dear friend who goes on that one every year. So that's a really good one. I wonder why. So Disney has the Star Wars Day at Sea. But geez, if Disney hosted a Star Wars cruise, that would be the Disney cruises are already a little expensive. That would be really expensive to do a Star Wars cruise. So Suzanne said they had a private showing of Return of the Jedi and fell asleep in the aisle. You partied before. Well, that's the thing. If you go party before the movie, you are gonna fall asleep during the thing. So that will do it. So. But so I was I've done many things in my career. So, but I started out as a projectionist, and I moved into television at CNN. That's where I met Rebecca. Then I went up to Foxwoods Resort Casino for a year or two. Was in marketing and video production up there. Then I ran my own creative agencies for 20 years ish. Worked with Alton Brown on Good Eats. So if there's any Alton Brown fans out there, I worked on seasons 9 through 12. You'll even see me in a couple of seasons too, actually, as well. So, but folks, if you've got questions about, all things cruising and travel and all that good stuff, certainly reach out. Bart thinks that the South Hills Mall closed down. I have no idea. I haven't been to Poughkeepsie in quite some time, to be honest. yeah, it's been a long time since I've been up there. So my mom passed away a few years ago. I think that was the last time.
Probably.
Wow. Yeah, I think it was the last time we were up there when my mom passed away. Yeah,
Yeah, for
yeah.
her
So
service.
yeah. You love Alton Brown, Good Eats. Yes. It was such a great show. I was a huge fan of the show before I even got involved with it. But I was the animator, post-production supervisor, and part-time actor in seasons 9 through 12. So you'll see me pop up in some of those episodes. And I've got, I think I did about 60 animations or something like that throughout. He was a really cool, still the coolest gig I ever did in media production. Super nice guy, super nice guy, and he's still doing his like I think he's claiming to do his last live tour. So if you're out and about and you want to go see him live, he's still doing the live stuff. So yeah, but yeah, I learned a ton from his shows. I actually learned a ton from being on the set. What was really cool about that particular set, that was one of the best crews I've ever seen for a television show or for anything. And just watching how they ran the set, how they produced, how Alton directed the set, that actually really helped me as I moved into directing and producing as my career developed. So yeah, that was television 101 or television 401. Alton was a master director and just I don't want to call him like a visionary, but he really knew how to put the best image on the screen and how to tell a great story. So now we're not talking at all about cruising. I'm like all over the place, but I'm having some fun. It's Star Wars Day, as you all know. It's May the 4th, so we're just having some fun with this. Something interesting that actually is going to directly affect us. Hey, Spunky's got a question. What's the difference between the Islander and the Paradise? Been on the Island 2 and 2 deal. I don't know what the 2 and 2 deal is, to be honest.
Probably been on the Islander twice, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know, but at any rate, they are completely different.
Yeah, they're completely different ships. Margaritaville doesn't like when I say this, but I still don't recommend the Paradise. I don't think the Paradise is that great of an experience. It's a very, very small. It's very old. And while Margaritaville has sent it back in to get addressed again, it's just really small.
Well,
and I mean, they have added some restaurants to it now. They're trying to make it a little better with the restaurants and trying to add to that. But it's like zero balconies, right? I don't know if it has any balconies or not. I can't remember. I don't. If
it does, it's probably just suites. Yeah, if it has any at all.
Yeah. So I think even though it is super cheap, and yes, they have added some other restaurants to it, the Islander is such a much better experience than the Paradise. If you want to do a 2 or 3 night cruise, then I would stick with your Carnivals or your Royal Caribbeans or something like that. I know. I try not to be negative or anything like that. I still have not booked anybody on the Paradise, and I don't plan to book anybody on the Paradise. So I just think your money is better spent on other ships at that point. Now, the Islander, fabulous, well worth the money. They have one of the best cruise directors out there, if not the best cruise director out there, was ZJ. ZJ is phenomenal. She makes it so much fun to be on that ship. And so if you want to do Margaritaville, you really should do that. Now, supposedly there's a 3rd ship coming. When we were on for our Valentine's Day cruise, we heard that they were very close to getting a 3rd ship. One of the things that I've talked about is that they don't have the best travel agent support right now on Margaritaville at sea. Their systems are really antiquated. They need some better system to help support travel agents. They have a whole new VP of sales or whatever his title is, and he did reach out to me. We had a great chat, and he said they are working on it. So as soon as they have a true good booking engine again, I'd love to take another group on there, the Valentine's group, but we had almost 200 people. It was so much fun between myself and Elisa, and it was so much fun. They did a good job, but it was incredibly stressful and painful on the back end. Thankfully, our clients didn't see any of it, but just trying to work with Margaritaville and actually make that group happen. It was really, really painful on the back end. So as soon as they get all that stuff fixed, and we've got a booking engine we can work with, then yeah, I'll probably take another group on Margaritaville Islander, or we'll also see what the new ship is going to be. Who knows? Benny, 198 days till the Islander, right? Donna's getting close to the Icon. We're getting close to Star of the Seas, August 31st. Me and Stephanie, we're going on. We're going to be roomies. Oh my God. I've never been roommates with Stephanie before. So this is going to be absolutely hilarious.
119 days.
119 days till Stephanie and I are roommates officially for one whole week.
You've never had a roommate other than me.
No, I've never had a roommate other than Rebecca. So, and I don't think Stephanie's ever had a roommate other than John. So it'll be interesting. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Oh, thank you so much, Haas. I appreciate it. Good morning, KB. How are you? Good morning, Silver Librarian. Diane over here, a question. Do I have a list of the cruise lines that do a shellback crossing the line ceremony? We have not crossed the equator yet. I think pretty much every cruise line that crosses the equator does like one of those really fun celebration ceremonies, whatever, because that's a big deal to cross the equator. So I'm pretty sure most of them are going to do it. Now, some of them go more all out, like especially like the smaller luxury cruise line. They seem to go more all out. Like I've seen some of the Azamara stuff. I've seen some of the Viking stuff.
I thought most of that was when they crossed the international date line.
Oh, was that the date line, not the equator?
Yeah.
Okay, then maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm confusing the two. When they cross the date line, that might be it.
That's the one they tend to have the big ceremony for.
Okay. So then I'm getting the two confused. So, but yeah. So most of them will do that. I don't know about the equator. I would have to check, but we haven't crossed the equator yet. It's on the list, but we haven't done it. What is the best way to travel from the West Coast to Europe cruising without flying? So if you're talking about the West Coast of the United States to get over to Europe without flying, then you would obviously take a train across if you're talking about not even flying over the pond, obviously you're going to fly to the East Coast, or you're going to take a train to the East Coast. You're going to head up to New York, and you're going to catch a Cunard cruise, unless you time it just right, that there is a ship leaving from the East Coast to go on over. And then we're going to go over on a ship. You're going to do your cruise over in Europe, and then you're going to time it up so that either a cruise line is coming back or Cunard is coming back. So Cunard runs about 21 transatlantic crossings every year, although they seem to be doing less of them of late. They're starting to send the Queen Mary II out to do other things. But yeah, you just have to time it up. If you've got the time that you can lay up in Europe or the US, then you're going to go across. Layla, it'll probably be a combination of Amtrak and other things, but yeah, you can put together that whole rail route. We've got a partner that's all they do. I just have to tell them where you're starting and where you're ending, and then they'll put together the whole itinerary for you. You're going to probably be switching trains along the way, most likely. Switching trains along, but yeah, you can go cross country. We have set up rail trips that go completely across Canada to pick up the Rocky Mountaineer, on the end. So we had one client that wanted to go from like South Florida all the way to Alaska for a cruise, but they wanted to do the whole thing on a train. We put the whole thing together. I mean, we had the whole route all laid out. Our partner put it all together. They ended up flying. They just didn't want to take that much time. They didn't realize how much time. They knew it was going to be a while. They just didn't realize how much time.
It does. That much train travel does tend to be a bit more expensive than flying, believe it or not.
Yeah. So international cruises, when they get off the cruise, has anybody had trouble with passport controls? So far, we haven't heard anything about any passport issues for getting off the ship. So, but yeah, Belle is asking about a crossing the line ceremony. Yep. Betty's asking about, has anybody been on the small Holland ship that have 1,400 guests? Those are phenomenal ships, Betty. We have sent so many guests on them. We've only been on the New Amsterdam. We're working on getting on another ship with Holland America. but we have sent quite a few people. The smaller ships are the ones that do some of the coolest itineraries. You know, your Oosterdam, your Zuiderdam, the other dams, whatever those other dams are. But they are amazingly cool. Oosterdam just came out of dry dock too, so she just got herself a whole refurbishment right now. So Bell is thinking that the equator ceremony is in the Navy. That could be. Oh, that could very well
They
be.
do it on cruise ships as well. Oh, the equator. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the equator. So
That-
yeah,
okay.
I don't know. I'd have to look.
Yeah,
to see.
I don't think I've ever seen of one on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the Dateline one I've seen on
Yeah, the
cruise ships.
Dateline one. Yeah. KB saying I did Amtrak from Chicago to Orlando. I've done New York. I've done the Hudson Valley all the way down to Orlando and back. What a beautiful ride. It was so freaking cool. Let's see. Betty, that's right, Betty. You're on the Zam Dam in Alaska. Yeah, that is going to be such a great ship for Alaska. When you go to Alaska, you want to be on a small ship. You really do want to be on a smaller ship. It's just a better experience. She's on that one. We're going to be on the Oceania Riviera, which is only 1,200 passengers. So that's going to be absolutely fabulous. So. Oh, Andrew, I hope you're feeling better. Oh my gosh, Andrew's passing a kidney stone. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, take care of yourself today. Take care of yourself. Lalila. Oh, it's Lalila. Is that how you say it? Have we ever traveled on one of those sleeper trains with a suite? You know, there's a couple that I watch on YouTube that do a lot of trains, and they've done comparisons of the sleeper car versus the regular cars. Oh, I can't remember. I can see them. But I can't remember their name. But they are very prominent vloggers on YouTube. So if you look for,
they have a cruise channel and they have a train channel.
Yeah, they're a really good couple. So I can't think of their name. So
my problem with a lot of those train situations is I'm of an age where I don't want to have to get dressed to have to go outside somewhere to go to a bathroom in the middle of the night. So I need a car where I can have a.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What's the smallest cruise ship? Well, I mean, keep in mind too that there are river ships, there are ocean ships.
Well, and it also depends on how you're looking at it. Are you looking at it as the size of the ship or the number of the passengers?
Yeah, because like, you know, Ponant and Paul Gauguin have like 50 passengers, 75 passengers, something like that. They have very small luxury yachts that you can go on. American Cruise Line has coastal cats that are around 125 people. So, you know, they can be very small. Plus you have private, semi-private yachts that are also considered cruise ships, even though they're somewhat small. So, but in the mainstream cruise lines, I think a small ship is like around 400, something like that. Like the Oceania Serena, the Azamara ships, they're just under 700, plus or minus 700 passengers. So, and that's when it really starts to get cool. Silver Sea ships can be like 400 passengers, 500. Same with Seabourn, they're very small. So I would say a very small ship for like an ocean cruise liner is probably considered like 250 passengers, something like that. Yeah. Can I explain the date line that I'm talking about? So there is an international date line on the globe, and when you cross it, the day changes. Like literally, the date changes from today to yesterday, or yesterday to tomorrow. Or today to tomorrow, or today to yesterday, depending on which way you're crossing the line. And they always make a big deal out of it. It's a big ceremony. I think it's like Neptune and all this other stuff. If you look it up, I'm sure some blogger has videos of it.
Well, I've seen videos of it, so I know they're out there.
It looks absolutely hilarious. Oh, yeah, Grounded Life Travel. I think that's them.
Yes, that is.
Thank you, Grounded Life Travel. That's the name of that channel. That couple is fabulous. Really nice people. I'd love to meet them one day. But they have a lot of stuff on trains. So if anybody is looking at, traveling across the country on the train and you want to see what it's all about, Grounded Life Travel, they do a fabulous job with that. So that was Walter S. saying that they have like 10 channels. Wow. I can barely run one. That's amazing. That's amazing. But thank you. Almost retired abroad. Thank you very much for that input. I do love our community that you all share and you help each other. So thank you so much for that. But yeah, that's great. I mean, I haven't done like cross country yet. But what cruise line would we recommend for Alaska? So, the one that we lean into a lot is Princess. And Princess and Holland America have been up there the longest. They have the best berthing location. They're grandfathered into a lot of the berthing locations. So, and what that means is you're closer to the action, especially Ketchikan. Ketchikan is a great port to point out because like the Norwegian ship, including our Oceana Riviera, we're going to dock 7 miles away and then have to take a shuttle to actually get into Ketchikan, whereas Princess ships are going to be right there, as well as Holland America. So, and it all depends on and if you want to do a cruise tour, then Princess Holland, those are the two. Those are really the two that you want to do. If you're going to do the land portion plus the cruise, you really want to lean into those. After Princess and Holland, then we start looking out at things like Oceana. We look at Azamara. They've got very small ships, really cool itineraries. Even Virgin surprised us. Virgin has really good Alaska itineraries for 2026. I don't know the whole docking situation yet. I don't know exactly where they're going to dock, where they're not going to dock. But even Virgin came through with some good ones. Celebrity has some good itineraries up there. Explora is coming to Alaska, I believe, in 2026. We know that the Explora 3, right now, her schedule takes her all the way to Vancouver, but then it stops. It doesn't tell us what comes next. Well, Alaska will be next, so we're just waiting on that. But in Alaska, you really want to be on a smaller ship. And so we start Princess Holland America. Then I kind of look over at Oceana. I look maybe Azamara, and then maybe come back to Celebrity. But it's going to be really interesting to see what Explorer is going to be doing up there. So, yeah. Matt, let's see, Zamdam. The cool thing, so Stefan's saying the Zamdam must be great for Alaska. One of the coolest things that Holland has that a lot of other ships don't have, the front of their ships are basically designed for passengers to stand out there. They have these beautiful decks, nice flat decks out on the fronts of their ship. So when you're coming into the glaciers, you're going into the fjords, you're doing like we're Panama Canal. A lot of times you can stand right on the very front of the ship as you're going through those places. And it's beautiful. And so many ships don't have that anymore, but Holland America really does. So Matt wants to know, if we take away the itinerary, just forget about the itinerary and think about the ships themselves, Regent or Seabourn, I would say based on the feedback lately, it seems like Seabourn might be slipping just a little bit on some of the service and some of the food. Now, you got to keep in mind it's all relative.
Yeah.
And of course, if you go to Cruise Critic and you look at any cruise line, they all suck right now because, people are complaining about every cruise line. And I think what you see is the majority of the complaints for any of these cruise lines are people who have just been cruising time and time again, like they're longtime cruisers on here. And of course, what they did 20 years ago is not what they're doing today. And they're still wishing that they could go back 20 years, something like that. So, I think Regent gets the edge. Just, their service is a little bit over the top. Their ships are just absolutely stunning. I think it does depend on the itinerary just a little bit too, because if you're going into certain areas, there might be a Seabourn ship that's better suited for going into a certain area. And then maybe there's a Regent ship that's better suited for going into a certain area. I mean, it's like it's pulling straws at that point. It really is when you're comparing those, you're at the top of the top with the two cruise lines. So I would be happy on either. You can put me on either ship and I would be equally happy. I think it really does come down to that itinerary and which specific ships are we talking about in that particular location. Because that's what it really comes down to. Because there's time, like I just said, we lean into Princess up in Alaska, but in the Caribbean, depending on what you want, yeah, it might be Princess, but it might be somebody else. So we go into every trip planning with our clients with the location and the itinerary first. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What kind of an experience you want? And then we go look at, okay, what's available at that time, because as you know, there's only going to be certain ships available in any given port at any given time. So I know you say take away the itinerary, but it does kind of come down to that itinerary and when do you want to travel and which ship you're going to end up on. Rebecca, did you have something over there? Okay, no. Let me just take a look here. Oh, 5 days to the Symphony of the Seas. Yay, that is awesome. Good morning, Kath. Good morning, good morning. Nancy, you're in Naples. Hi. Nancy is on the Sun Princess right now. I hope you're having a blast over in Europe.
Have some pizza in Naples.
What?
Have some pizza in Naples.
Have some pizza in Naples from Rebecca.
A margarita pizza.
Post pictures of it in the Facebook group. And thank you so much for letting us help you plan that trip. I hope you guys are having a great, the Sun Princess and the Med for 14 days. Wow, that's going to be amazing. Let's see. Question, you're thinking of booking flights through Virgin Voyages. Any thoughts on that? Don't do it. Just don't do it. Their prices are stupid. I don't know who they book these flights through, but they're not even close. Same thing with the hotels. The hotels are so out of whack on there. I've never booked a flight through Virgin because every time I look at it, it's just stupid when you look at the same flights. So book them on your own, or I'll book them for you through our third party. But yeah, I don't recommend. I do recommend booking flights through Princess, Holland America, Royal Caribbean, and Celebrity, or at least looking at what they have. What's cool about those 4 cruise lines is cost might be a little bit more, but you can wrap it all into one thing. And at least on Princess and Holland, if you get a flexible fare, you can pay for the flight at final payment. You don't have to pay for it when you book it. And all 4 of those cruise lines show you the flights, which is really nice. They don't like just say, okay, well, you're going to get a flight from Detroit to Miami, but we're not going to tell you what it is until we book it. No, you can actually look at the airline, the flight numbers, and all of that good stuff. So for those 4 cruise lines, Princess, Holland, Celebrity, and Royal, they all have good flight programs so far. And then, of course, all the luxury cruise line. One of the better ones with the luxury, actually 2 very good ones, Azamara and Explora. They tend to have really competitive prices, sometimes better than what we can get independently. They're really, really good. So, oh, you're welcome, Matt. I hope that was helpful. Let's see. I hope I'm saying it right, Lalila. You normally sail on Carnival, so you want to try something different. You'll be with the kids too. Oh, cool. Yeah, well, you should reach out. I tell you guys all the time, our services truly are 100% free. We don't charge you a dime. We have booked, we're probably getting close to like 1,600 cruises over the past 2.5 years that we booked, something like that. I mean, I know we're up to 1,978 proposals that we put together. Not all of them had booked. So, I mean, we booked a few cruises, plus we've been cruising for 20 years. So we take a lot of that knowledge that we have. We've been on 13 different cruise lines now. So we try to spread ourselves out so we can actually get on the ships and see what they're really about and understand the cruise line. So even if we're not on the specific ship that you might be going on, we've been on the cruise line or we've been on similar ships. So we just don't worry about that. And then we can bring you firsthand knowledge is what we can do. So, Dennis, send me an email. Absolutely. And Stefan, real quick, am I allowed to book you from the European Union? Only on Virgin Voyages, I can book you. And if you have a United States address, you have to have a United States address for anybody else. Virgin Voyages, I can book you from the EU. I can even book you in British pounds and I believe euros if you wanted to. Same thing with Canadians. I can book Canadians at the Canadian dollar on Virgin Voyages, but they're the only ones. Some of the luxury lines may allow me to do it, but for the most part, if you live in the EU, look up Kieran Miller. I think it's Kieran Miller with Magical Traveler. I think that's the name of his company, Magical Traveler. His name is Kieran, Keiran, and then Miller, I think is his last name. He's a really good agent in Europe. And anybody who comes to me from Europe, I hand them off to him. And anybody who's an American, it goes to him. He hands them off to me. He's just a really nice guy. Really nice guy. He's a great travel agent over in Europe. So if you live in Europe and you're looking to book travel, check out Kieran, Magical Traveler, I think is the name of his company. So yeah. So, Silver Sea. I'll tell you what, Silver Sea. We have clients right now going who are in the Med, who are on their 50th anniversary, and they're on a distinctive voyage, which is super cool. Silver Sea is very, very proper service. They have the butlers with the white gloves, and it could feel a little stuffy to some people who are not used to that. But if you want to be pampered like you have never been pampered in your life, I mean, Silver Sea, the ships are small. They are luxury yachts. Really, no detail is left to chance. I mean, they take care of absolutely everything. And then if you're on a distinctive voyage, which we can offer on certain voyages through our Travel Leaders Network affiliation, that makes it even better. So what they got on this particular voyage, there was a cocktail reception. They have a dedicated host that they can go meet with to talk about, whatever questions they might have. And they got an included shore excursion, which it was something to do with food. It was like a 5-hour tour in Italy, and it had something to do with food or wine. So yeah, just so amazing. So, what do I know about Celebration Key? What will be open in June? I don't know exactly what's going to be open in June. Follow their YouTube channel. They're posting stuff. So yeah, I don't know exactly. Actually, I thought it opened in July. So I thought it was July. Maybe it's June.
I thought it was July too, but
yeah, I thought
maybe they're opening early.
Yeah, they may be opening early. I don't know what exactly will be open yet. You will find out the same time we all do. But just stay, make sure you're subscribed to Carnival's YouTube channel and their social channels, because they're posting some really cool stuff from there. I missed a question. Which cruise lines do I recommend for the Mexican Riviera and Panama Canal repositioning? So two things. So Mexican Riviera, you really don't have a lot of choices for your standards. I mean, you've got Carnival and you've got Royal Caribbean going pretty much all year long. Carnival now has the Firenze out there, which I would recommend over the other ship. I can't remember what the other ship is, but if you're going to do it on Carnival, do the Firenze. And then Royal Caribbean has Navigator of the Seas, and they brought Quantum of the Seas out there. What I haven't paid attention to is whether Navigator stayed or Navigator left. I don't know. But they brought out the Quantum of the Seas, which is cool. That's a really nice big ship. I think if you're
there are more ships that are there in the winter season, because a lot of the ships who do Alaska in the summer then transition to doing either California coastal or Mexican Riviera or some combination thereof.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're looking for something that's different, like you just because basically you got Cabo, you got Ensenada. You got Cabo San Lucas, Ensenada, Mazatlan, and I think there's one
Acapulco.
More. Acapulco, yeah. So, I mean,
depending.
You got the same stops for Carnival and Royal Caribbean. So at that point, okay, which ship do you want to go on? Or if you want something a little bit different, you might look at maybe what Princess is doing, what Holland America is doing. And then some of the luxury lines actually have some really cool ones, like Oceania, Azamara. If you're looking for something really cool with repositioning, Virgin Voyages has some really nice repositioning cruises. Oh yeah, Virgin's going to be there for a couple of cruises going down. And that's nice because that's adults only, and you got your foods included, your Wi-Fi's included, your gratuities are included. So that's going to be different and nice. And I would, and then beyond that, I'd probably look at what's Explora doing, what is Oceania doing, what is Azamara doing. Those are the three that I tend to lean into in terms of the luxury. Yes, Silver Sea is beautiful. Regent is beautiful. Seabourn is beautiful. There are certain clients that do that. That's what they want. But I tend to look. Like in that mid-range luxury for most of my clients, because you'd be surprised, what you pay for a balcony or a junior suite on, say, a Royal Caribbean might get you like entry level on Explora, which your entry level is a 330 square foot suite with a balcony with a padded chaise lounge out there, and pretty much all included: food, alcohol, Wi-Fi, coffee, everything but the excursions is included. Even the thermal suites and the spa included. So some people are actually quite shocked when we present, the side by side. They're like, "Oh my God, it's like it's the same. It's $500 more. It might be a little bit less, depending on what you're getting." So yeah, There are not nearly as many options in the Mexican Riviera all year long like there are in the Caribbean, but when it's the winter season, there are definitely a lot more options that come on in. So, hey, Diabetic, how are you? I hope that was helpful. Feel free to reach out. Anybody who's watching and hearing some of these answers and stuff, and you'd like to talk more, just set up an appointment. Go to where'swaltertravel.com, or there's links, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. There are links in my profile. There's links in the description. Just go on down there and set up an appointment. My services are 100% free. And we really do have to have that appointment because I've got some questions to ask you, and that helps us to find the right cruise for you. So yeah, let's see. I'll be right back over. Let's see. Nancy did a food tour. Oh my God, in Italy, in Naples, fabulous, fabulous. Doug is going on to Meraviglia out of Brooklyn in May, a little later in May. Love it. Omega is going on Adventure of the Seas in a week and a half. I love it. And Chris wants to know, are we planning on going to Celebration Key? We are, but we don't know when yet. We don't have it planned, but I really want to see it. I actually think Celebration Key has the opportunity to be better than Coco Cay. I really do. One, they have much more space, so they can spread it out. Two, they've set up 2 different adult-only areas, one of which is going to be a quieter area, which is what I really like. Hideaway Beach, I think, is a great idea, but it does have that whole Las Vegas party vibe. And they say, oh, well, you can go to the far side of the beach. Yeah, there's still a lot of music. And then you've got all the individual cabanas playing their own music. And it kind of gets a little weird. So I like the idea of a smaller space coming. Let's see. Hey, good morning, Carol. How are you? Yes, I know. We got some great rain. And that's why we're inside, because there was a threat of a thunderstorm coming in. Stan, can I recommend a 6 to 8 day cruise on Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, Princess, Norwegian in September out of a northeastern port, but not going to Canada? Well, then you're going to go to Bermuda. If you're not going to Canada, you're probably going to Bermuda.
I don't know.
I don't know any that are going to go north that aren't going to go to Canada or Greenland. But off the top of my head, I mean, I don't know specific cruises, but you're basically looking at Bermuda. I mean, Royal and Celebrity will have ships going from Bayonne down to Bermuda. And I don't know about Princess and Norwegian if they're doing it from up there in September. I really don't. But Royal and Celebrity, I believe, are there most of. Royal, definitely. Royal's there all year long in Bayonne, sailing out of Cape Liberty. So that's going to be a Bermuda cruise if you don't want to go to Canada. That's basically all there is. There may be some that go into the Caribbean, but not for 6 to 8 days. I don't know how far they can go in 8 days. You may find something that goes like maybe down the Coco Cay or even further into the Bahamas, but I don't know anything off the top of my head. I would have to search.
This year there's going to be some from Virgin.
That's true.
In September, going to Bermuda.
That's true. Virgin has 2 going to Bermuda. We're going to be on the September 10th through the 15th, but September 5th and September 10th. But those are only 5-day cruises. They're not 6 or 8. And those are on the Brilliant Lady, and they are pricey just because they're the very first cruises on that ship.
Well, so. and it's fairly late in the game for this September for them.
Yeah. So. Silver Honda wants to know, they booked a Grandeur of the Seas in December. How do you find out about activities in advance, formal night or disco night? Those run on a pretty regular schedule. And let's see. So the cruise directors, I know, post that all the time. But even on Royal Caribbean site, they tend to have, the general schedule of when things happen. Now, the actual activity for your particular cruise will probably start to come online maybe 3 months out, maybe 2 months out. Then you'll start to see it in the app. You should actually see a day-to-day schedule in the app start to populate. It's probably not there yet, 216 days out. But as you get closer to the cruise, those kinds of things will start to populate. But they do. I know in the FAQ somewhere, there is a question posted in the FAQ somewhere to something like, how many formal nights do you have on a 7-night cruise? And there's basically a set schedule that Royal uses on every cruise ship.
It can usually, I mean, this is not 100% accurate, but usually they try and do one towards the beginning of the cruise and one towards the end. and they're usually on sea days if they can swing it.
Yeah.
If not, it'll be a port day where it ends early.
Yeah.
And you can always go maybe follow the Facebook groups for a similar cruise earlier than what yours is, and maybe get an idea of what the schedule could be like.
Yeah. And I see a couple of people talking about the EU. I am going to pop it up on the screen. I just found it. For those of you watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, I just put on the screen Kieran's website. So if you live in Europe and you want to book some travel, it is magical-traveler with 2 L's in traveler.com. And Kieran's just a fabulous, fabulous dude. So if you live in Europe, I can't service you except on Virgin Voyages. I can definitely book you on Virgin Voyages, but everything else you would have to go through somebody over in Europe. So there you go. I love Kieran. He's a really, really nice guy. So what is the time frame of travel to cruise to Australia? Are there ports in the U.S. that go there? I'll go second part first. Yes, there are ports that go there. And in fact, we just had a client book one. We've talked in the past about Holland America. So Holland America has had sailings from San Diego to Australia and back. And they usually hit like French Polynesia and all of that. This time it's Princess. One of our clients just booked a cruise. What is it, in March? Leaves in March?
I believe so. March to May.
Yeah, leaves in March. I think it comes back in May.
I believe
and it is a round trip Los Angeles, and it is on the Coral or the Island, I believe, one of my favorite ships. Oh my God, I love that ship so much. So yes, you can go round trip from the West Coast down to Australia. Now there are ships in Australia year round. Like Carnival actually has 2 ships that are in Australia year round, and they've got the Luminosa that's there. When she's not in Alaska, she's in Australia. So,
and there are lots of ships that go at least one way, going from either Australia to the U.S. or vice versa.
Yeah, and I think they tend to go to Australia like in our winter time.
Well, yeah, if you're looking at, say you're looking at just strictly Australia cruises where you have to fly there, generally those happen maybe November through March.
Yeah.
So, because it's our winter-ish and their summer.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah. So, and yes, there are ports that will go there round trip. Her price is spectacular. It's a 54-day cruise. I won't tell you exactly what her cruise costs, but it's a pretty spectacular price for her going. I was like, wow, that's a great price for 54 days on a ship. Absolutely amazing. And she's going to be on the Coral Princess. So for a time frame to cruise to Australia, you can go pretty much anytime you want, just because there are some ships that are down there. You're limited. Now I do know like Explora is going to be adding Australia soon. Let's see. So I know Princess generally will go down there for a season. Celebrity, Royal Caribbean, I think sends a ship down there. Carnival, obviously we talked about all of the luxury
Norwegian.
lines. Region, Oceania, Azamar, all those guys, they have ships down there. So yeah, just reach out and if you want.
Just 2 little housekeeping things for those of you on TikTok. Be patient. Walter will get to your question. You don't need to keep re-asking it. He'll get there.
Yep.
He just has to bounce back and forth between the two sides.
I'm just getting there.
And then if you are going to ask a question about Virgin Voyages, make sure you use VV. You can't use the word virgin for some reason, because TikTok will block your.
TikTok is not like the word virgin. So if you want to ask a question about Virgin Voyages, do not use the word virgin. Just use the letters VNV. Best places to stay for a cruise out of Long Beach, California. I think the most fun place to stay is the Queen Mary, the ship that is now a hotel. I think that's fabulous. That's the one that I think our clients probably book the most. Other than that, I don't have.
We have a list, but it's.
Yeah, I have a list, so I don't know any offhand. But all of your usual suspects are there. Hi, Lady C. You're excited about the adults only on Virgin? I love it, love it. When somebody asked about no outside, no, it was storming a little earlier, so we're inside today. SL wants to know, do other cruise lines have a distinctive voyages type of offering? Oh, and you're welcome for the EU travel advisor. I'm telling you, Kieran is he's such a nice guy. Really nice guy. I'm so lucky to have met him. I actually met him through social. But yes, so distinctive voyages is something that's offered by our consortium, Travel Leaders Network. So Where's Walter Travels, part of KHM Travel Group, which is part of Travel Leaders Network. And they offer these things called distinctive voyages. And there are about 10 different cruise lines in there, I believe, that offer them. And then beyond distinctive voyages, we also have about, I think, 15 cruise lines or 20 cruise lines that are in what we call amenity departures, where something extra is added onto the cruise. So that's one of the things that, we can offer is these distinctive voyage. And by the way, that distinctive voyage, that's absolutely free. It doesn't add anything to the cost of your cruise. The same thing with the amenity departure, doesn't add anything to the cost of the cruise. It's just something that we can offer because of our affiliation with Travel Leaders Network. So it is really cool. So yeah, there are hundreds of them. And in fact, I am one of the newest distinctive voyages hosts. So you may actually meet me on one of those voyages one day. You never know. It's cute. I thought I was going to sneeze. Excuse me. Sorry.
Bless you.
Pardon me. All right. Silver Honda's looking forward to going under the Skyway Bridge. That should be absolutely amazing. Darla, you're about to ask if I could book your next cruise even though you're in South Carolina. Yes, I can book people pretty much throughout North America. Canada, throughout North America, the Caribbean. So yeah, as long as you live in North America, I can book you. And if you live in the Caribbean, most of the countries in the Caribbean, I can book you on any travel. So yeah. So have I met the gentleman from 30 and a wake up in our travel? I have not. Sounds like fun. I have met Roller Cruiser though. I love Roller Cruiser. He is so much fun. And he's really good at trivia. So if you see him on your ship, grab him for your trivia team because he actually was very good. He helped us win a few times. He's awesome. Turk, you love the channel. Thank you very much. You're cruising to Nassau. Can we purchase day passes to Atlantis on that day? I don't know if you can get. So Nassau can have like 7 ships coming in on any given day. So if you really want that day pass, I would probably book it in advance because there's a lot of people coming into Nassau, and every cruise line more or less can book the day pass. So I would go ahead and do it in advance. So how is Bermuda? I don't know yet. I haven't been there, but I can. We're going. I'm going in September.
Yeah.
And
129 days will be on the ship.
129 days till we're on the ship. And actually, I haven't shown any of our group cruises yet. So I'll go ahead and put Tony's up because Tony's is going there. But yeah, so every one of my clients who goes there loves it. I've got a lot of clients up in the New York area, and they go down to Bermuda all the time. They're like, oh my God, it's like the best. The ship docks. We go hang out in Bermuda for a few days. We get back on the ship. We go back home. It is like the best. So in September, we will be there for 2 days with the Brilliant Lady. And then in April, we're going to be there with Tony and Jenny B and about 250 of our newest friends on the Norwegian Jewel, sailing April 16th through the 23rd. And there's still room in that group if you want to come join us. April 16th through the 23rd, Norwegian Jewel. What's so special about that cruise? It's going to be the very first cruise out of Philadelphia. I think it was 2006. I looked it up. Like 2006, 2005, something like that. So it's been a while since they've had any cruise ships leave Philadelphia. So we're going to be the first one. And we're going to spend 2 nights in Bermuda, I believe. Then we're going to Charleston, South Carolina, and then back up to Philadelphia. And of course, there will be games and fun. And I don't know what Tony and Jenny have in mind, but I'm sure they've got some stuff that they're that they're coming up with. So yeah. Andrew's going under the Verrazano Bridge in 5 days. That's fabulous. Hey, have a good day, Silver Honda. Hey, Alex, how are you? Stefan says the Celebrity Edge is a good option down in Australia. The Edge class ships are a good option. They're beautiful ships. So, Stan, thank you for leading me into something I started to talk about much earlier. But then all your questions started coming in. Stan is asking, comparing the Norwegian Pride of America to a West Coast Hawaii cruise. Take care of that. Thank you. Oh, I do not like this. I don't like the TikTok things. Okay. Sorry. So he wants to compare the Norwegian Bride of America to a West Coast to Hawaii cruise one-way or round trip, which would be a better choice. Now, the one-way trips are usually repositioning when the ship is going from, it's going to stop in Hawaii and then it's going to continue on somewhere else. So that is a one-way repositioning. So generally, you're going to go round trip from LA if you're going to be on most of the cruise lines, or you may go round trip from San Diego if you're going to do it on Holland America. And then your round Hawaii is only the Norwegian Pride of America. Now, the reason why I was going to bring this up earlier, Hawaii passed a new tax for all travelers entering Hawaii. And it's going to really hit the Norwegian Pride of America the hardest. And actually, it's going to be a nightmare for all the cruise lines to manage this. I'm going to do a TikTok about this right after. But Hawaii has levied a 11% tax on the cruise fare for the days you are actually in Hawaii. So if you're watching me on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, you've seen the graphic that's on screen. We have a group that's on the Emerald Princess. We will be sailing from Los Angeles 16 days, February 4th through the 20th, to Honolulu, Hilo, Kahului, Kauai, Ensenada. I invite you to come join us. It's going to be an amazing cruise. But on that particular sailing, we are in Hawaii for 4 days. So for those 4 days, Hawaii is going to levy an 11% tax on our cruise fare. This is where it becomes a nightmare for the cruise lines. Most cruise ports, it is a port tax. It's $25 per person. It's $15 per person. It's, whatever it is per person. But Hawaii is saying we're going to tax a percentage of your actual cruise fare. Now, keep in mind, number one, like the Emerald Princess that I've got on the screen right now, she has about 27 cabin categories. Because you've got inside, ocean view, balcony, mini suite, but then within that, we've got subcategories. So it's about 27, maybe 30 categories throughout that entire ship. So there's 30 categories of fares that they need to do the math on. Plus, depending on when you book the cruise, your inside might be different than my inside, and it's different than their inside. And, now all the cruise lines are going to have to do these calculations that are not necessarily, it should be easy, but it's going to be a royal pain in the butt. So, we calculated, what did we figure, about $220 is what it's going to add to our cruise?
Probably around 200-ish to our particular.
Yeah, because our particular fare is plus or minus about $8,000. We did a.
Although that's including the Princess Plus. So once we subtract that, it's going to be less.
True, because the cruise fare Princess Plus doesn't count. So yeah, once we take that off. So anyway, so it's probably going to be like plus or minus $200 is going to be added. And yes, even though our cruise is going to be paid for, and even though we have the cruise fare, Princess has two options right now. They can add it to our cruise fare so that we're going to pay more for our cruise than we originally planned, or they can collect it while we're on the ship as part of their daily fees. So for those 4 days, they could add an extra fee on our room because that tax wasn't there, and their cruise contract says that they can add. If there's new taxes or new fees that come up, we can add those. So yeah. So back to your question.
But essentially, then the Pride of America, which is 7 days round trip,
those cruises
every single 11%. Day of that cruise is going to be taxed.
Yeah. So the Pride of America, it's going to go up by 11%. Now, Norwegian has issued some statements in some of the press that I've been reading. One, they're threatening to sue. Two, they've even threatened to potentially pull the ship. I don't know where they're going to send the ship, but that would be a very unique situation to be in if they did pull the ship, because they could offer cruises that nobody else could. They could go up and down the California coast. They could go up and down the eastern seaboard. They don't have to go to Mexico. They don't have to go to Canada. Or they can do Alaska. They can do Alaska without having to go to Canada. So that would be a very interesting thing. So I don't think it's an idle threat from them to say we're going to pull this ship from Hawaii, because there's a lot of things that they can do, and they would be in a very unique position that nobody else is in, because that ship is flagged in the United States. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what comes of it. But back to your question, there is no better choice, Stan. It is, what do you want to do? We've always wanted to do this LA round trip or San Diego round trip. And we're going to go to Disneyland. Prior to it, we're still waiting. What is it? It's February 4th, and Disney
I haven't
still
checked
has
today.
not. Huh?
I haven't checked today.
Yeah, but Disney still has not announced the resorts for 2026. So we're probably going to book in Pixar Place for a couple of days prior so we can do that. So, yeah, but there is no better choice, Stan. It's which do you want to do? I mean, now the Pride of America is going to be a more in-depth Hawaii experience because it is a full 7 days. You can even add land. I think you can do 11 days total. Or you can add, just like Alaska, you can do a cruise tour kind of a thing, which actually looks really good, to be honest with you.
And honestly, if you want to do the round trip strictly Hawaii and you're planning to travel before January 1st when this tax goes into effect, choose that option.
Yeah. Like
because
if anybody wants to go to Hawaii,
go away.
If anybody wants to go to Hawaii and do the Pride of America, do it before January 1st.
Because we don't know what's going to
Will be
happen.
going up. And you never know. I mean, if Norwegian makes good on their promise and they pull that ship, I don't really think they will. But Hawaii has definitely created an accounting nightmare for the cruise line by not making it a standard tax across the board and just saying it's going to be a percentage of everybody's cruise fare. And you could, with 4,000 people, you could literally have, 2,000 different cruise fares on that ship based on when people booked and what they got and what offer they got. And is it a casino offer? Is it a this offer?
And how many people are in the cabin? And
it's just going to be a nightmare for the cruise lines. I'm telling you, it really is. So Walter S. did the Norwegian Prima from New York to Galveston in 2023. Leaving New York was an awful experience. Never do that again, but eventually want to get back to Bermuda. I've heard that Brooklyn can be a mess at times. We haven't heard many complaints about Manhattan or Cape Liberty, except for one cruise from Cape Liberty, but that was not their fault. There was a big snowstorm. The ship got in very, very late. The turnaround, I don't think the ship left until after midnight. The other quirk about New York too, especially if you're going under the bridges, they have to leave in a certain window because of the tide or they can't get under the bridge. And that was the other thing that caught them. They couldn't leave. They had to wait for the tide. So yeah, it is very interesting sailing out of New York, and especially when you're going under those bridges. So yeah. Alex wants to know, is there a way to find out cruises where KHM Travel Group has booked a group rate? Not for you. We can find them. It's usually more Travel Leaders Network that's doing it. But yes, we have a whole database that we can search. There are about 1,500 cruises at any given time that are in that database. So yeah. So, but yeah, if you're looking for certain ones, certainly can. Just reach out, just let me know, and we can take a look, see what's out there. The group rates really come into play as you get closer to the cruise and if they're still available. That's the thing. When we first take out the group rates, it's a little bit better than what they are today. But like on our Celebrity Constellation cruise right now, which I'll go ahead and pop up, that's our European cruise next year. We're going to Europe. Nope, not that one. This one, October 23rd through November 2nd of 2026. We have personally pulled group rates for the Celebrity Constellation. That's Ravenna, Split, Dubrovnik, Kotor, Messina, Salerno, Portofino, La Spezia, Civitavecchia. And the group rate is only on the all-included package. If you just want to book the cruise fare by itself, it's the prevailing rate. But on the all-included package, we've got somewhere around $400 off what the going rate is. But, the thing about it is, too, Alex, I know you're a solo traveler, and group rates never apply to solo travelers on any cruise line. So even on Virgin, we can book you as a solo traveler, and you can get the group benefits. So you can get group benefit by us moving you into the group, but you won't get group rates as a solo traveler. They just never have them. So. Hey, Foodies Food Life, how are you? Thank you so much for joining in, and thank you for all the kind words. I appreciate it. I wish I had time to do more vlogs. I just don't have time. We are so incredibly busy. I looked the other day. I think we're like 18th in KHM Travel right now out of 5,200 agents. So yeah, we've just been so blessed. I can't complain. I wish I had time to do more of my vlogs. I am trying to figure out how I could bring in an editor, like maybe hiring one of those editing services so we can get more vlogs out. I have content from like 2 years ago that hasn't been released yet, which is kind of sad. So, Scott, you just got off the Wonder. Was that the Wonder of the Seas, the Disney Wonder, or the Carnival? Carnival have a Wonder? No,
I don't
Carnival
think
doesn't have
so.
a Wonder. Was that the Disney Wonder or the Wonder of the Seas? Either way, yay, 2 good ships. So Wonder of the Seas, yay. That's fun. I can't believe that's going to be a 3 and 4 day ship. That's just crazy that they're doing that. But it's been very successful. Carnival is going to make one of their XL class ships a 3 and 4. I think it's the Mardi Gras is going to switch to 3 and 4. That's just crazy. Craziness. Diabetic Hawaii hotels also have a 10.25% base tax. Yep. So all of it is changing. Everything is changing over to this new tax as of January 1. That's what they said they're going to do. They're going to bring everything together. Hotels, cruises, however you come in, we're taxing you. So it is just going to be, I don't want to be those accountants over there. I really hope that they don't like change these, like get rid of these itineraries. That would be very sad if they did that. Because like, going to Hawaii is just super cool. And, yeah, if it costs us an extra $200, we're okay with that. Now going on a Pride of America cruise that goes up by 11%, that is going to hit Norwegian pretty hard. And I can see why Norwegian, is saying, hey, you know what, we may just move on out because everything's getting more expensive. So it's going to be very interesting. Foodies Vacation, they're probably planning to make it an Oasis-sized ship in place of the Pride. Now, the ship's too big. I don't think most of the ports can handle that. And especially if you've got a tender port, you would never want to have an Oasis-class ship out there. I don't even think they're going to send a Breakaway-class ship out there. The Pride of America is like the perfect size. The only big ship that stopped there, like there is a Quantum-class ship that'll stop there, but that's always on a repositioning. You wouldn't put it there permanently. It's just too big. The systems in Hawaii can't handle ships that big.
And plus, none of those ships are American registered, so they can't do the round trip.
Correct. Can you imagine registering like an Oasis class ship in the U.S.? How much
I don't even know if they can, because a certain percentage of the ship has to be built in the U.S.
That's right.
Every single member of the crew they have to follow U.S. labor laws.
Exactly.
I don't. There's absolutely no way that will ever happen round trip from Hawaii.
Just from a financial standpoint, they'll keep it as the Pride. Or something similar. They could have a smaller ship built. In fact, even to the point where like her dry dock, either I can't remember if she's already gone in or not, but the Pride is doing her dry dock in Oregon. She's not even going like to Mexico
that's part of the rules,
or even up to Canada. Her dry dock is even being done in the U.S. So yeah, there's so much financially that has to happen, and so much with how the ship has to be built. Yeah, they can't. So yeah, and even Stefan's in there too, saying the same thing. So Alex, you're looking forward to your San Francisco to Hawaii cruise. That's awesome. So Scott, you got a free cruise coming out. That's amazing. Any recommendations? Hey, just start looking at the whole world. I mean, you got Europe, you got Northern Europe, you got Norway, you got Hawaii, you got Australia, you got Fiji. I mean, Princess covers the world. So if you've done the Caribbean too much, just take a look at what else is out there. There is so much out there that is fabulous. So yeah, Princess really has some great itineraries out there all over the globe. So yeah, just take advantage of it. You're leaving on the Aqua in 13 days. Fabulous. How many days we got?
27.
27. So we're going to be right behind you. May 31st. We've got a nice small group coming on that one. We've got the shirts. We're ready. We're going to have some fun on that one. Rebecca did see that the slide coaster was down. They needed a part. Doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's brand spanking new. The thing is running day and night. I'm sure it's the launch system. If they need a part, it's probably the launch system. What I'm kind of surprised, like if that launch system is broken, they don't have another way, like
a backup,
like a conveyor belt that could get you up to the top, so you can at least get to the slide, even if you can't have the launch.
Well, maybe it's an either or situation. They can't put both in.
Yeah, I'm just thinking it's a launch because there's no way to get the boats up there if they don't have the launch working. So that is kind of a bummer, but to be expected. I mean, the Bolt roller coaster is down a bunch. I'm really surprised that they keep bringing it back and keep bringing it back. Although the newer one, the Ace ships? Is it the Ace ship that's going to have that massive water park on it, or is it the new XL class ship? So they announced the Tropical and the Festival. And I can't remember if they have the Bolt on them or those are the ones with the water park, or if it's the new Project Ace ship that are going to have 8,000 people that can have the new water park on it. But one of those is going to have that new water park, which interestingly enough is going to have 6 water slides. 6. Somebody else has 6 water slides. It's called the Icon. Is it the XL class ship, Alex? Yeah. I can't keep up. There's so many friggin' ships out there being built right now. I don't think you people appreciate just how many ships are being built right now that are coming out within like the next 10, 15 years. There's so many ships. I'm very curious to see what's going to be happening with the older ships because nobody's building small ones right now. Royal Caribbean, well, I shouldn't say nobody. Obviously, the luxury lines are. They're still building the small ones. Their big ships are 1,200 people, maybe 1,400 people. But nobody's really building, like Royal Caribbean keeps teasing Project Discovery, which is their small ship replaced. They have acknowledged that, the Vision class does need to be replaced. And they keep teasing Discovery class, something like that.
I'll believe that when I see a keel laying ceremony.
Yeah, when they actually have a keel laying. Can you just imagine Royal Caribbean taking all that technology and everything that they do and just put it into a smaller package? That's going to be phenomenal. I would love to see some of that technology all brought to bear on a smaller ship. We see some of that, like on Explorer. You can see some of that, with some of the touch technology they have. Their theater, while it is extremely small, is just packed with everything. It is really well done. So Explorer kind of gives you a glimpse of what Royal Caribbean could do. And I'm really excited to see it. I just don't know. They keep teasing it, but they don't actually do anything. So it would be nice to see them actually do something and actually, make it to where we actually have the smaller ships coming out. So, but yeah. So Hawaii is going to be very interesting to see what comes of that. And by the way, up on the screen, for those of you watching on those channels, I do have the Brilliant Lady. Now, through May 9th, if you book with us by May 9th, so today is May 4th. May the 4th be with you. But if you book with us by May 9th, we're adding a $50 bar tab to every Virgin Voyages booking. And I do mean every Virgin Voyages booking. That is courtesy of Tamika at Virgin Voyages. And if you book on this particular cruise, Rebecca and I are going to be on the Brilliant Lady. We sail October 3rd through the 16th. We're sailing out of Quebec, and we're coming all the way down to Miami. So it's basically a Canada-New England cruise. And then we come down to Charleston. And then we're going to make our entrance into Miami for the very first time. We expect that Virgin is going to make a big deal out of it, that they're going to do something a la, Royal Caribbean with the Icon, MSC with the World America. We're expecting that Virgin's going to make a big deal out of this because it is their final ship for now. They don't have any new ones being built at the time. But we're going to start in Quebec. We go to St. John's, where we have a very late night. We're going to go to Halifax, where we have a very late night. We're going to go to Eastport, Maine, Boston, Massachusetts. Charleston, again, we have a very late night, and then we come into Miami. I keep mentioning the late night because that means you can have dinner. You can have dinner in St. John's. You can have dinner in Halifax, and you can have dinner in Charleston, South Carolina. That is one of the things that Virgin is really starting to do now. They're really pushing their late nights, and they're pushing their overnights. So if you'd like to come join us, it is the brand spanking new Virgin Voyages Brilliant Lady. This will be about the 5th cruise that she will be sailing. We're going to be on the 2nd one in September, but then this one is October 3rd through the 16th, Quebec, all the way down to Miami. We're actually going to spend a few days in Montreal first, and then we're going to spend a few days in Quebec before we actually get on the ship. So I'm really, really excited about going on this particular voyage. In fact, Rebecca and I will not have to fight over the hammock because they have a brand new category on this ship called the slightly smaller terrace because this ship is slightly narrower, and they brought the lifeboats in so that she can go through the Panama Canal. She's the only lady ship that can go through the Panama Canal. Technically, the other ones could, but you can't have anything hanging over the side of the ship because they will get destroyed. And the other 3 lady ships have their lifeboats hanging over the side. Whereas this one, they can bring the lifeboats in, and she's all squared up. So because of that, our terrace is smaller, but they gave us 2 hammocks. So
I'm going to run a timer and see when you have your own hammock option, how much time you actually spend in it.
I will be spending time in it just because of that timer. Foodies is with us after being on the Icon. You thought the same thing. Imagine if they try to make a smaller ship like they keep saying. I know. Take that technology from Quantum. Take it from Icon. Take it from Oasis class. Take some of that stuff and now bring some of that technology down to the smaller ship. Oh, my God. It's going to be amazing. Stan saying that the Brilliance was a great ship out of New Orleans. You're very surprised and looking forward to being on the Norwegian Jewel with us in April. I cannot wait to see you guys. Yeah, so the Brilliance of the Seas is a nice size ship coming out of New Orleans. It is kind of a surprise that so like Norwegian does the getaway out of there, or the breakaway, getaway. But they're bringing the Prima, the Viva, one of those two, one of the Prima class ships is coming into New Orleans. The New Orleans can actually take bigger ships. It's just that bridge. So they got to stop short of the bridge, which they do. Norwegian terminal is before the bridge, which is great. So they are bringing some bigger ships into New Orleans. So, and Bell says it's great to see more cruises departing from the Canada side, from Vancouver to Alaska. I'll tell you that I think some of the best itineraries in Alaska are the one-ways, because you usually get an extra glacier day, or you might get an extra port day, and you don't have to have that mandatory stop in Canada because you're either starting or ending in Canada. So that takes care of it. So there are some great voyages. If you're looking for something longer that's one way, Azamara has some really good 11 and 10 day itineraries that are all one way. I believe they're all one way. And those are really nice. Oceania has some really nice ones. Like I said, Explorer is coming up there. We don't know what they're doing yet because they haven't announced it. But they've got some one-ways. And even Virgin Voyages has some longer ones up there. But, Princess, Holland America, we're going to lean into those all day long. Holland America has they do a couple of 14-day one-way itineraries, or maybe it's a round trip from Vancouver. And then they have a 28-day. If you really want to do Alaska, Holland America, 28 days. They take you go to so many ports that you will never go to on any other cruise line, including all the way up to the Arctic Circle, basically going up to Dutch Harbor and all of that. So if you really want to do Alaska and you want to do that bucket list, man, get yourself a month and go on up to Alaska on Holland America's 28-day. Oh my God, it's absolutely amazing. So Diabetic likes the destination elevators from Icon Utopia. I like those too. I do not like the ones on MSC. They were horrible. We were on the seaside and the seashore. They were not good. But the Sun Princess, excellent. And then the ones on the Icon, excellent. So as long as they get it right, it works really, really well. The ones on MSC, they call them smart elevators. They're not very smart. That's all I'm going to say. It was not good. It was not a pretty scene. So
because if the thing I noticed is when you're on Icon, if there's a whole bunch of different groups of people, they'll send people to all different elevators.
Yeah.
Whereas on the MSC ships, every single person is going to get sent to the same elevator.
The same one, yeah. Because on the MSC, they want you to actually punch in how many people, but they don't tell you that, and so you have to keep calling the elevator, It's not a great system, but when it works, like the ones on the Icon and the ones on the Sunprint, they just when you push it, you go to D, and then the next person that hits it, you go to E. They just start spreading people around, and it just makes it so much better. So yeah, I do like the smart elevators. They are really nice. Although it's really fun when you see people run in and then they try to push a button. That's the best part. And then they realize that they're just along for the ride. But I do like them. Let's see, what other cruises do we have coming? I'll tell you what, folks, I hope a bunch of you can come with us to Europe next year. This particular cruise, so it's a Celebrity Constellation. It is October 23rd through November 2nd, 2026. We start in Ravenna, which is about 2.5, 3 hours away from Venice. So you could spend some time in Venice pre-cruise. You could even spend some time in Rome, go on up to Venice, and then come on to the ship. And then you're basically going to come around to Civitavecchia, which is Rome. We're going to go to Croatia as well as Italy. But then at the end of that cruise on November 2nd, you can get off the ship and head on up to Rome, or you can stay on the ship, which is what Rebecca and I are going to do. And she's going to do a 15-day crossing over to San Juan. Really looking forward to that. We got 3 stops in Spain. We got 1 stop in Morocco. And then we're actually going to stop in St. Martin before we pull into San Juan. So we're going to be on the ship for 25 days plus probably like maybe 5 days on land. So it's going to be a whole month that we're going to be gone. Same thing's going to happen with the Hawaii cruise too. But I hope some of you guys can come along because we've been looking forward to this. The Celebrity Constellation is one of their Millennium class ships. She's the perfect size to go to Italy, to go to Europe. She's a small ship. We really like these small ships over in the Med. We like the small ships up in Alaska as well. So I hope you guys can come. That's October 23rd through November 2nd. Once again, we're going to be in Hawaii, February 4th through 20th on the Emerald Princess. So we invite you to come join us there. If you want to cruise with Tony and Jenny B, and we'll be on this one, we're going to be sailing out of Philadelphia on the Norwegian Jewel, April 16th through the 23rd. That'll be Philadelphia, Bermuda, and Charleston, South Carolina. If you want to go with Tony and Jenny B to Canada, New England, they're going to be on the Enchanted Princess, October 11th through the 18th, 2025. That's this year. New York, Newport, Boston, Portland, St. John, Halifax, and then back to New York. There's only 1 sea day. So I don't know what Tony and Jenny B have planned, but there's only going to be 1 sea day. So there may not be a whole lot of stuff happening on that particular cruise in terms of like a group thing. But it's going to be Tony and Jenny B. And we do have a group hotel in New York, and we even have a group motor coach that we've got lined up to take everybody to the ship. We still don't know if you're going out of Manhattan or Brooklyn. They won't know until 30 days out. So, but those are all the groups that we've got going on. And I really invite you to come join us. It'll be a lot of fun. Oh yeah, Betty, you're going to be there. Love it. SL, thank you very much for the kind words. I appreciate that. We try to be here every Sunday. This Thursday, I don't have a guest. A lot of Thursday nights, I have a guest at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And this week I don't have a guest, but I'm working on getting some more. Working on getting some of the river cruises to join in, and working on some more. The Royal Caribbean, I know it's coming up. We just had Carnival on, and yeah, I'm working on some more folks. Also working on getting some more of my land tour partners to come up because we are starting to book more land tours. Trafalgar, Colette. We're sending people to London. We're sending people to I think Ireland. We've sent people to Portugal. So yeah, so we also do the land tours as well. We don't just do cruises. We do a little bit of everything. So yeah, a little bit of everything. Stan said Princess will sail out of Brooklyn during their fall cruises. Well, on the actual itinerary, it says Brooklyn or Manhattan. And on October 11th, which is the day that Tony's cruise starts, the Queen Mary too is there in Brooklyn. So I asked Princess, and Princess said specifically, we don't know. We don't know which one yet. We will announce it 30 days out. So yeah, I looked at the Brooklyn cruise terminal, and I looked at the Manhattan cruise terminal. I looked at their schedules, and they don't have the Enchanted Princess on either one of those schedules. So they said, well, we're going to let you know. So it's going to be very interesting. But yeah, it looks like normally Princess would sail out of Brooklyn, but we've been told that from time to time they will sail out of Manhattan as well. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. You would think, oh, well, yeah, we know exactly where they're going to sail out of. So good morning, Desiree. I hope you're doing extremely well. You're trying out the MSC Mirabilia. That's great. Chef Guy, thoughts on a quick cruise out of Florida? Is Margaritaville a good choice? It's only if you go on the Islander. Don't go on to Paradise. But for a quick cruise out of Florida, you got Carnival, Celebrity, Royal Caribbean, no Princess, no NCL, MSC. Of course. So yeah, you've got a bunch of good ones. One of the cool things that I really like about MSC is a lot of their 4-nighters have an overnight at Ocean Key, and that's actually really, really cool. Like you actually stay at their island. So there's a whole bunch. So if you want some help, finding a cruise, just reach out. Where's WalterTravel.com? You're watching me on TikTok. There are links in my profile to set up an appointment. And our services are completely free to you. And I'll remind everybody, our services are they really are. We don't charge a dime for our services. We're very fortunate that our travel partners take care of us. So, and it's the same price. If you book directly through the cruise line or you book directly through the travel partner, they just keep the commission. So if you book through us, then you're supporting a small business, and it doesn't hurt them at all. So I can't see your picture. So sorry, I can't see your picture, Mike. So and I can't tell by the handle. So you booked your Carnival cruise with us? Yay! Thank you. So reach out. We'll help you find a quick cruise. I appreciate the support. Yeah, a lot of y'all who are popping up, especially on TikTok, I can't see the pictures, and
it's just too small for our old eyes.
Yeah, and I just can't see it. So I'm sorry, Mike. So, but thanks for your support. And yeah, just reach out. We'll find you something. We're booking an anniversary cruise right now, and they're looking at short stuff. It's from your pictures from a Carnival cooking experience. So cool. I love doing that. In fact, we're doing a dessert party on the Oceana Riviera. So the Oceana Riviera has a whole cooking studio, an actual cooking studio. So they have, I don't know, they had like a dozen choices or something like that.
No, they had 3 different. They just had it on multiple days.
Yeah. So, and we're going to do a dessert party while we're on a cruise ship. I'm so excited. Explora has a really nice cooking kitchen as well. Yeah. That's the other cool thing about some of these luxury ships, start getting cooking kitchen. But yeah, doing cooking experiences are so cool. If you guys are ever on a celebrity ship that has glass blowing, do it. It is like the coolest thing to do at sea. You're doing like honest to goodness glass blowing. It is so much fun. I love it. Hey, Alex, thanks so much for the kind words with Tamika. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen any of these, especially, I had Tamika from Virgin Voyages on last Thursday. A couple of weeks ago, I had Jeremy, who's the head of music for Virgin Voyages. I had Holland America, Crystal, Explora. If you haven't seen any of these, go check out our YouTube channel on Where's Walter Travel on YouTube, and look at our live playlist. We have almost every cruise line has come on our show now. At least the major ocean cruise lines have come on our show now, and some of the rivers as well. So if you're wondering, what some of these things are like and you want to hear directly from the folk, and then I definitely encourage you to join us when we've got our show. We don't do them every single Thursday, but we do them most Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern time on our YouTube channel. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Annette. I really appreciate your kind words. SL. Oh, good. I'm glad you found a magical traveler. Yeah. Tell him I sent you. Tell him I sent you. He owes me. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, seriously, just tell him I sent you. He's such a nice guy. We haven't even met in person yet. Hopefully, I think he's coming over for a Disney cruise sometime sooner than later. We live in Orlando, so we'll be able to run over to Port Canaveral, or we'll see him when he flies into Orlando. I'm so excited to finally meet him in person. Such a nice guy. So, folks, I'm going to wrap it up because I've got a meeting starting in an hour. I got to clean all this up, have some lunch. So if we can help you in any way, hey, please reach out. Where's WalterTravel.com. Just reach out and set up an appointment. I will be glad to help you. Rebecca is amazing. She is my right-hand person here. She does a lot of the research. So where's WalterTravel.com? Cruise, land, luxury, expedition, all that good stuff. May the 4th be with everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in, man. Oh, you sent Mike sent a referral. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. All right, guys. Have an amazing rest of your 4th. Happy Star Wars Day and happy Cinco de Mayo tomorrow.